Lit. We're live.
Dude.
What it be, what it do? It's your boy Nate back at it with another dab review.
On the electric boogaloo.
All right. Well, this is the Terpoholic Podcast, number 3. And we are we're going to get right into this shit. Ready to fuck some shit first. Up? We got a Riker Riot saying, yeah, ready. Good
Shout
shit.
out to my man Riker.
Good shit. I'm glad you're ready. All right, so the first video we got here is that the UN votes to impose new sanctions on North Korea. You guys ready to get right into it?
I suppose.
I have a question, though.
Oh, go ahead and ask.
When are we talking our shit?
Hold on. Oh, good point. We'll do that after this video, but just take a look at this fucking... straight off. Oh my God. We're straight off the bat.
There's a fucking lizard people.
There's a lizard people.
Breaking moments ago, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in Hawaii proclaiming President Trump's travel ban a violation of federal law, ruling the ban goes beyond his authority as commander-in-chief. However, the appeals court stopped short of blocking that order, instead issuing a stay pending a ruling by the Supreme Court. We're going to keep you posted on any late-breaking details.
Last night in the news.
Should the North Korean regime conduct an...
All right, I'm sorry, but I just fucking hate her. I hate our fucking...
You're anti-American.
No, I cannot tolerate our... What's her technical spot? The ambassador to the UN?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking hate her. Just the way she talks.
Isn't it Nikki Haley?
Yeah, I believe that's her name.
Yeah.
She just has like...
She always sounds condescending.
Riker Riot's now following. Thank you, bud.
Thanks, dog.
I'm sorry it was the lame-ass one. I'm sorry you couldn't get a fucking actual subscribed one. I guess that's only for YouTube.
Yeah.
Ouch. We'll have to edit that. But, thanks, bud.
Another nuclear or ballistic missile test. This resolution commits the Security Council to take even further
that bitch behind
action.
her got big titties.
It sends the unambiguous message
Look at her
to
face,
Pyongyang that further
Not in a
defiance
fucking paper
will
bag.
invite further punishment.
I am, dude. Shallow as a fucking puddle, my dude.
Shallow as a puddle.
Shallow as a teaspoon.
That was U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley earlier today after the UN Security Council unanimously voted to impose new sanctions on North Korea in response to the rogue regime's recent ICBM launch. That missile is said to be capable of hitting anywhere in the U.S. Aaron Cohen is a 21-year Israeli-trained security and counter-terror veteran.
So I just want to point out real quick, all the people who said, no, North Korea would never get there. No. Well,
they there.
Here we are.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't get the fucking point of, like, imposing sanctions at this fucking time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They're already fucked up, and they can't feed their people. It's, like... It seems pointless. It seems redundant.
And the founder of Aaron Cohen's Soft Target Security Training Systems. So thank you so much for joining us. This is just 24 hours after the UN was down a completely different road, condemning the U.S. Today, stood together all 15 members and imposed these new sanctions, including China and Russia. How significant is that?
Well, it's really significant, and it's also ironic how the UN, as soon as their organization is threatened in any way by Pyongyang, like we're seeing here, they
look like a
flip
Steven
the script
Seagal
very
stunt double.
No, he doesn't.
To an extent, I can see it a little bit.
Quickly, but that's neither here nor there. This is very significant. The reason
That's
why
neither
is
here
because
nor
North
there.
Korea is attempting, and in fact, getting closer to being able to launch a ballistic missile, which can in fact hit our country. That's a very real thing. And so,
ballistic missile.
The president.
I thought that was
ballistic missile.
I may be just stoned and drunk, but I thought that was a Japanese dude with an American tie. Rewind it back like
what? Oh, I was like, where do you see it?
Right there.
Oh, okay.
It might be American.
No, it's just a red tie.
Oh, the one with the stars.
Laid out a security plan that does what you have to do with terrorists. And why do I call this guy a terrorist? Because a terrorist will fire at civilians unprovoked. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with them? You got to go for the neck. You got to bite down, and you got to make sure that they can't move and that they can't get access to their funding. And so the attack of the finances and by restricting funding to North Korea through very hard sanctions is exactly the security play that's required. So salute to Donald Trump. And I salute the woman who's at the UN making that announcement also. I think she's fabulous, and I think she's no-nonsense.
Just as a side step here, I saw an article while we were pulling videos today. North Korea has declared this an official act of war, just like they do everything else.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, well.
If they throw their own shit like chimps, it's an act of war to them.
Yeah. Yeah, Clocked 64 says sanctions, lol. Yeah, sanctions are going to do a whole lot, right?
Yeah, because they've done so much before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Riker Riot says Nikki Haley gave that speech to the UN and then left the building, leaving her aides to talk for the rest of the night.
That pretty much sums up this entire administration.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect. I don't. I was going to say I wouldn't, but I don't expect
credit to Trump
much.
on this is fucking stupid because every president before fucking just imposed sanctions on North fucking Korea. That's all we've been doing is imposing fucking sanctions. It's time to fucking blow them up.
I don't necessarily know that it's time to blow them up. I don't know where I stand on that, but I don't think sanctions are even anything. They're not even anything out of the ordinary at this point.
I'm going to say my part. I say we take his toys away like a little fucking toddler that he is, put him in timeout, and we all go about our fucking business.
Bash him in the back of the head with a fucking frying pan.
PUBG the
He'll never see it coming.
Clock 64 says China.
Of hearing her put it to the UN, it's absolutely
These
my
are very
favorite thing I've been listening
sanctions.
to the last couple of days.
Not quite as far as President Trump wanted to go. He wanted to cut off all oil imports. This very dramatically limits them far below where they are right now, where they only...
Is there an echo in their studio?
No, it's just her nasally ass voice. And did I hear that North Korea is importing whales?
What?
I don't think they'd get away with that.
I don't know.
Reduced by about 30% at this point now. They're almost gone, but
we
he
need
also
more
wanted
rails.
to have all foreign workers sent back
we needed
to
more rails.
North Korea from everywhere else that they're working, which generates so much cash for the nation.
That's right. That's right. And by essentially what he's doing is he's creating choke points to the labor, and what that does is it essentially puts everybody on watch, which is, look, if you're going to export something to North Korea, if you're going to export goods there, if you're going to work and bring any kind of expertise back there, whether, as well as the oil, we're going to constrict, even though it's only 30%, like you mentioned, still billions or millions of barrels per day.
Russia and China
again,
pretty much
you deal
North
with terrorism. Again, I'm coming from the Israeli
right
perspective
now.
here.
I mean, that's the reason people just don't, the rest of the countries just don't go in and fucking bum rush their ass.
Well, yeah, China's already threatened to
China
take action
mainly.
if we were to attack against them during that missile scare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My unit never went after the low-level terrorists. We went after the management of the guys, the financiers, the money guys. No money, no terror. No millions of barrels exported here. No labor being able to carry out.
Don't we, in a sense, help with the whole oil moved here, oil moved there thing?
Yeah.
I mean, we're supporting a regime in itself by buying our oil where we already buy it perfectly legally anyway. You know what I mean? So
I mean, our whole fucking chess game in the Middle East is entirely played for oil.
You know what? I'm not going to say who, but somebody in my family actually brought up to me that the Middle East has the war in the Middle East has very little to do with oil.
That the Democrats are going to fucking sweep in 2018. So just run a good fucking presidential candidate in 2020.
Not Hillary.
And quit with this fucking
I thought she was done.
identity politics.
No, I mean, she hasn't officially announced she's running or anything, but back on the point of the video, we're going to pay attention to Sandy Claus.
Impeach fucking idiots. They're all old white people.
Dangerous. Did they really start off with dangerous? Like, couldn't you have started off with something a little bit better than dangerous?
Orange!
Orange!
Toupee!
I think he's obstructed justice too, but episode.
That this is a way that a government should run, or a government should treat its people. They're taking from the people that need and giving to the rich people and the corporations. That tax bill that Trump violates all types of clauses for corruption in terms of allowing.
And the Hillary idiots allowed this to happen.
But what is this guy like? This guy probably should like. If you can't even make a fluid point, you should probably not be the first person to volunteer to do an interview. Because I'm sorry, but what you just said made no fucking sense.
Like Billy Bob Thornton and Bad Santa.
Yeah, a little bit.
Fucking drunk as shit. Don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
Because he... seriously, that made no fucking sense. Like, he, with the healthcare bill, it violates so many acts and things.
And he's orange. And
it's like... I don't know. I really don't think interviewing protesters is necessarily the best environment for a serious view on that.
Or a legit input.
Yeah.
Foreign governments to rent hotel spaces in his thing, knowing that the money's going towards him, and then he goes and negotiates with them. He does many things that are impeachable, so we're calling for him to be impeached.
That's debatable.
Why do you got your kid there?
Yeah, nothing fucking better to do. Fascist. No, he's a fucking Republican. This is what they do. They cut taxes.
I mean, the Trump rally...
Healthcare.
The Trump rally that we went to, or the Trump protest...
I didn't go to that. I was like, fuck you guys.
That we went to was...
He drinks his water with 2 hands. Impeach.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as lame as this. I'll see if I can pull a video.
He grabbed him by the pussy. Impeach.
And it's unfortunately that your president talk and do all the nonsense that he's doing, and instead of making America great again that he promised, he's making us feel ashamed of our South.
How?
The most unfit president ever. All right, let Santa Claus talk, you fucking cucks.
Legalize trans queer visibility. What did that fucking idiot with the sign say?
I don't know.
It's illegal to be trans in America now, huh?
Here, I have
in the Middle East and you'll get fucking hung.
I have a better video.
WTAE.
This was the Trump protest. Yes.
Good evening. It was just about an hour ago that the streets behind
me I was in there right where they're at now.
Packed sidewalk to sidewalk with people filing out of Donald Trump's rally and with the protesters who
dry humping the one winter time we went to a car show. Oh my God.
We're standing in opposition to Donald Trump here tonight. I can tell you that it was raucous. It was very wild down here. Quite a scene, almost riot-like conditions, and neither side kept quiet about their message. Immediately, as Donald Trump supporters left the rally, they came face-to-face with opposition.
I wonder if I'm in this video. That'd be crazy.
Ideas and a line of police officers. Hundreds screamed and shouted. Conversations quickly escalated to clashes. Police left scrambling, trying to avoid any violence. But as protesters and Trump attendees continued to mix, tensions rose. Crowds lingered, though, arguing, pointing fingers, yelling for nearly 3 hours.
Honestly,
police eventually forced
there were... This is a pretty accurate representation of what it felt like to be there, because I was literally in there, like right where the glass is. I was taking videos there and stuff too as they were coming down and stuff. There were definitely thousands of people crammed into that little ass space. So I would say this is an accurate representation of what it was like, but it wasn't as violent as they're portraying it, though. Like, there were a few bad eggs on both sides, right? There were a few insane, retarded, liberal, fucking feminazi, crazy idiots who were even screaming at their own side. like arguing, and like I got yelled at for trying to engage in an actual discussion with a Trump protester or with a Trump supporter. Like I was just sitting there having a legitimate conversation, and she came up and started screaming in my face for fucking, what'd she say? It was
Why are you talking to one of them?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it was.
They're dirty.
And you know, she was the same person who then proceeded to like spit on this person and then like, you know, freak out when she got pushed.
Spits on me. You're getting 100% power.
Yeah, like the first time you saw that, like in the video, you saw that police charge where like the three of them hopped over the thing. That was because one of the chicks had spit on somebody, and that was like the first like. Yeah, that was the first like, and then after that, you know, the Trump supporters got all pissed off, and I mean, truthfully, the protesters, us protesters were the ones like there that probably had the most like, you know, starting shit. But at the same time, I don't know. There was stupidity on both sides was simply my point. But this was a much cooler protest than that weak ass like Santa Claus and like 4 people.
Looks annoying.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
All right. So we're going to move into another video here. It's Americans facing serious punishment in Bali over possession of marijuana.
Ooh.
We move now halfway around the world where it's anything
but a Fox News.
Christmas for one American.
You know, Fox News is like, yeah.
So maybe we should diversify our
Christian Beasley is facing serious punishment,
networks.
Even the death penalty for having marijuana there. Senior administration officials tell Fox President Trump saw our story.
Yes. An American is facing a possible death penalty over having marijuana in Bali.
You had marijuana in the wrong fucking country, my dude.
Wrong town.
I have no idea where Bali is.
Truthfully, I'm not 100% sure. I can look real quick.
It up.
Yeah, well.
Special report last night asked his staff for more information and inquired about getting involved. National correspondent William Lajeunesse has an update tonight from Los Angeles.
It is an Indonesian island known for its forested volcanic mountains, iconic rice paddies, beaches, and coral reefs.
What the fuck you doing in Indonesia, dude? It ain't as pretty as they just fucking painted it there either.
A 32-year-old Christian Beasley is not in the U.S.
I don't know, man.
Where marijuana
okay, yeah, we'll
remains
show you
illegal.
fucking resort pictures.
So fucking pretty, I just want to smoke there.
Not 4 years or more in jail.
Lawyers say no country is obligated to honor a medical prescription from another, though most do.
Yeah, sorry, American, that was fucking retarded, and you should be 100% aware of the laws of any place that you're fucking going. You are a fucking idiot for thinking that your medical marijuana card would allow you to have weed in a different country. And you probably should have known before smoking weed what the punishment for smoking weed is.
Right.
But
so fucked up.
at the same time, this is fucking ridiculous. And somebody in the administration of Trump needs to try to get this kid out of trouble. Because if this dude spends 4 years in a foreign jail in Indonesia over weed...
Oh, you got to learn his lesson. He definitely didn't steal from Louis Vuitton, even though you have fucking money.
The defense has presented nothing. Even the documents haven't been translated or anything.
Hank Gizeki worries Indonesia is parading his son as a poster child who flaunted Islamic law in tourist-friendly Bali.
I was very encouraged the other day that the president was pointing out that his new administration has been very good at helping Americans who have been kind of finding difficulties in foreign lands.
The State Department claims the U.S. does not get involved in courts of sovereign countries. However, the Trump White House successfully has.
President Trump sees this as one of those areas where his deal-making ability, his ability to negotiate, his ability
Why
to
would
use
you wear that bow tie?
his personal persuasive...
His deal-making ability is what's helping him get people out of trouble in different countries.
No, it doesn't matter that he's not the president of the most powerful country on earth.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that most of these countries rely on us in some shape or form and probably shouldn't piss us off, that has nothing to do with it. It's because he is a good deal maker. Shut the fuck up.
Powers is at a zenith.
Trump personally intervened to free 3 UCLA basketball players caught stealing in China. He also won the release of Fan Gillis, an American businesswoman imprisoned there for 2 years. In April, Egypt released this American aid worker after Trump appealed to President el-Sisi. His intervention also freed this former CIA agent.
I'll give him credit for all this, because
from North Korea.
President Trump.
Obama was kind of shitty with that, because this guy happened under Obama, and Obama didn't fucking do anything about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll give him credit where credit is due. I mean, he's doing a good job with getting people out of sticky situations, but I'm just saying...
I mean, he should anyway.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I don't think it's because it's Donald Trump. I think it's more because he's the president of one of, if not the most powerful countries in the world. You know? So
only second
probably has taken a more visibly active interest in the fate of Americans overseas in his first year. But, you know, the number of Americans who travel abroad is enormous, and he can't be responsible for all of them.
On Wednesday, Gizicki reached out to the White House.
They have a volunteer phone service there, which is awesome. She was going to try and run it up the line, so I don't know if anything's happened on that yet.
Could be a tough sell legally and politically for the White House. On the other hand, Americans should not be subject to abuse and extortion in prison. Now, Bali accuses Beasley of possessing just under 6 grams of pot.
What? Fuck
he faces
you.
Up to life in prison.
That's
or even
it.
Death.
So he faces up to life in prison or death
for not even an eighth.
For, well,
I mean, honestly, if you get caught with a gram there, they probably put your ass in prison.
Yeah,
it's probably like just like a fucking cross the board. No matter how much you have,
yeah, I would assume
for it. Because these countries are so fucking backwards with their drug laws. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but it's cool to smoke heroin.
Well, no,
or opium, whatever.
You've got to remember that these are different countries, Nate. So you can't like assume that they have the same issues as us. Like most of these places, like any drugs like that, are completely like you're done.
Yeah, you steal something in some of these places, they cut off your fucking hand.
Yeah,
unless you're a basketball
normally this
player.
is supposed to be a.
All right, what is up with all this Fox News? We need to pay more attention to where we're getting all of our news stories from.
Fuck it.
Because
having a field day with Fox.
Yeah, but we're not being associated as the podcast that either
Foxcast.
only uses Fox or only disses on Fox. So we're gonna fix that in the future. Maybe just a little bit more time pulling videos and planning.
But what we've seen for the last 3 weeks since President Trump made his announcement about Jerusalem is that there have been clashes in Bethlehem and other Palestinian cities in the West Bank, and demonstrations and violence in Gaza as well, all in reaction to President Trump's decision to recognize unilaterally that Jerusalem is Israel's capital. Today was no different. We saw minor clashes in comparison to what we saw 3 weeks ago, but they do continue, and there has been sporadic violence there lasting a couple of hours each afternoon. Now, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas issuing a...
Why are they holding Hey Donald signs?
Because it was ultimately his choice.
To do what?
Recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
Yeah, but the UN isn't.
Well, the UN didn't approve of that, though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So what's... I don't understand why there's, like, what the issue is.
They're pissed off at Donald for doing that.
For doing what?
Recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
Yeah, but it's not like the UN did because he did. Like they're still, like, being all, like, you know, this is already taken care of. Like, we're not acknowledging shit. So...
Wait, I thought that went through, though.
No.
Oh, well, then they're still just protesting and telling them not to fucking do it, I guess.
It's just, like, a weird, like, I feel like you should probably have more shit to protest being a Palestinian than... Hey, Donald, but whatever.
Christmas message and calling on the international Christian community to, quote, listen to the indigenous Christians from the Holy Land and reject President Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Meanwhile, the fallout from Thursday's United Nations vote condemning the U.S. announcement on Jerusalem continues. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, inviting representatives from the 9 countries that voted with America against the resolution to...
Yeah, only 9 fucking countries were with us. Everywhere else was like, no. So...
I don't see it as a big fucking deal, to be honest with you.
To be truthful, what I think it is most of the UN does not want to ignite more issues between Palestinian people.
No, because it's already a volatile fucking.
Yeah,
area.
like I don't think. The only thing that I can truthfully think of is that the UN just does not want any more ammunition, because I can't see the issue with that. Like with Jerusalem being named the official capital, like that's how it's been there for a while now. I mean, that would be like if the UN was like, no, United States, your capital can't be Washington, D.C. It has to be, Harrisburg or, whatever. So, I don't know. I mean, but that's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, it makes no sense to me.
To a thank you reception, of course, President Trump threatened to cut aid and U.S. financial assistance to any country that voted against the U.S. position on Jerusalem.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. How is that even legal? Like
I can understand because we do fund a lot of the UN, but at the same time, the whole purpose is to democratically vote on shit. Well, no, diversity is no. The whole purpose is just to have so everyone has a voice and can vote. That's like telling them that he'll pull funding if they don't vote his way is pretty much extortion.
That's what I'm saying.
That diminishes the point of the fucking end.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. That's what I'm saying. How is there not a rule against trying to influence the votes by something like that? I mean, you're threatening to cut funding to countries and lower aid. That could put a lot of countries in a position where they're like, okay, we just had a horrible natural disaster and the United States is funding us cleaning that shit up. Now they're saying they're not going to fund us if we don't vote. That just seems so fucking weird.
Seems blackmailish as fuck.
Threat, though, has largely been...
It wouldn't really be blackmail. It would be extortion.
Yeah, that word.
Yeah.
Lord Kelly, some more than 120 countries voted against the U.S. on Thursday, including some really big U.S. allies, the U.K., Great Britain.
Everybody,
Germany, France.
Was like, we don't
also
want no part of this shit.
Like Jordan, Afghanistan, and Egypt to receive a lot of U.S. money and assistance. Question, Kelly, is will the Trump administration and Congress follow through on that threat?
All right. Well, at this point, we're probably going to take a little bit of a break here. So let me just pull up some free
tunes. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back in 7.
Yeah, well, it'll be like a 5-minute break. So to end
gotta
the
stand
live,
up, walk around, air out my asshole.
Seconds.
We're back after our break. A much
Chinese oil,
much needed break. I'm gonna update the Twitch title so it's not the pre-show anymore.
Dude, I have an awesome thumbnail idea for you.
Oh yeah?
Did you ever see the picture of Cenk Uygur as a water buffalo?
Yeah. Yeah, I have. I'll think about that. We'll see what we can do with that one.
Yeah, and you could just put it into our little square where we have the videos.
Yeah.
That way he's looking down on us. Little Terpoholics.
I like that idea. All right. So the next video we have here...
Squires of the Water Buffalo.
Yeah, the next video we have here is Silicon Valley alum TJ Miller accused of sexual assault.
Salty.
T.J. Miller has been accused of sexually assaulting and punching a woman while attending George Washington University in Washington, D.C. in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
The Silicon Valley alum's alleged victim shared her account in an interview with the Daily Beast, published on Tuesday, December 19th. The woman, who asked to remain anonymous and used the pseudonym Sarah, claimed, "He just tried a lot of things without asking me, and at no point..."
So I did a little bit more research into this. I'm going to just go into it now, so that way we don't watch the 40-second video like whole cloth or anything without making any commentary. So I did a little bit of research, and his defense to this, him and his wife, they both defended this. They said that this is somebody that they...
Sexual assault.
This is somebody making this claim that they mutually knew in college. that it was, I guess, a relationship or a girl that he was talking to that went bad quick, and they gave up. And then this person started saying, they were going to get back at them, and they were going to ruin their reputation, and blah 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 blah. And has apparently throughout his life, periodically, multiple times, tried to bring this up. And so he's saying, since the new trend is accusing everybody of sexual assault, this is her just latest way to
I could see it.
Attempt to tank his career. So, I mean, I don't know. I did also see some other points, though, where there were a couple incidents of other females speaking out now as well, saying that making vague allegations, and one saying that a bartender had stopped her from a drink that he had bought her and got her a new one.
I'm not laughing at this, by the way.
That's fine. Apparently he got her a new one and had told her that, he saw TJ Miller slip something into her drink, and then reportedly he kept, asking her throughout the night, not knowing that the drink had been swapped, kept asking her, are you feeling all right? Are you feeling all right? Stuff like that. So those are just the accusations and defense, just some other ones I saw. I guess I shouldn't take total credit for it. I totally watched a Philly D video on it.
Yeah.
So
that's where you get all the info.
Philip the fuck out.
No, I mean, I validated what he said, but I just was a video that caught my eye. So I just wanted to add some more information.
He asked me if I was all right. He choked me, and I kept staring at his face, hoping he would see that I was afraid and that he would stop. I couldn't say anything. The website reported that the allegations were addressed by a student court at the university.
Dude, she said more than
and
that.
have privately
Oh yeah, she said a lot more than that.
Yeah, dude, she said he was on top of her, fucking punching her in the mouth while he was fucking her.
Yeah, she also said that
just doesn't sound right.
She also said that he inserted a beer bottle into
her puss.
Yeah, unwillingly, and then she also said that he anally penetrated her without her consent.
Dude, that's all a bit fucking far, don't you think?
She has a lot of allegations against him. She wrote a book.
I get back
Was it multiple times?
I get back to this though. If it happens, go to the police. Don't hold back on it, and then, this seems like a perfect time to bring that up now.
Yeah, because I mean, this does bringing it up now does make you look.
Oh, they made it big. Let's fuck that over.
You know what, guys? I just realized we're perpetuating rape culture.
Yeah. No, I agree to an extent, but at the same time, you don't know the psychology of somebody in that situation, so it's kind of hard to throw that vague.
Yeah, it is hard to come out with this. I won't deny that.
Yeah,
but it just seems sketchy, is all.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely not arguing with that.
Ever since.
And that's the end of that video.
Video shit. Oh,
so,
shit.
Yeah, some allegations there made against T.J. Miller. Like we said, he has declined them and given some explanation on them. So we'll see where that goes. Judging by the response, I would honestly probably side with T.J. Miller in that one. But like I said, a couple other people did come out and say, some shady stuff had happened. So who knows?
Third-party sources saying that he did that to her?
No.
Or different stories?
Twitter claims. People making claims over Twitter. And then being taken seriously, though.
Yeah.
So, some people that aren't, nobodies either.
Who knows?
So this is an article we got here. And,
I feel like I should put my 2 cents in, but, blowing smoke in your dog's face who has seizures, that necessarily won't do much. But the CBD and CBN capsules that you can get, that, for hip dysplasia, bone and joints, fucking seizures, it even helps with, fucking, what do I want to say?
Well, the biggest issue with it, though, usually is that it's the smoke that bothers them.
Well, let's read this, because...
So if you just give them something that's not smoke... It will
right, but let's read this, because that might not be necessarily where this article's going. So I'll start it off.
Because I saw the oil.
Allison Edel, MBA, has never got high for fun, but she'd like to feed your dog cannabis. Why?
Trust her.
Allison is the CEO of Treatwell Health, a Californian firm making medical marijuana products for people and their canines. Her rivals include Treatables, which sells hemp oil for animals of all kinds, and Pet Relief, whose hemp dog treats. Okay, that's just whose hemp dog treats look like fancy vegan snack food. It may sound bad, but as more U.S. states legalize recreational cannabis use, pot for pets is booming.
Hemp dog. Hemp dog.
Why does it sound bad at all?
Shut the fuck up. So it may sound mad.
Oh, mad. Okay.
It may sound mad, but as more U.S. states legalize recreational cannabis use, pot for pets is booming. Veterinary groups are cautious at best, but a mounting number of dog owners say the drug is easing their animals' anxiety and chronic pain. Firstly, the obvious question: no, they're not smoking it or eating it whole. Cannabis at human strengths can be toxic for dogs, so firms are making dog chews, oils, and topical creams using cannabis extracts. Some use marijuana, but more often it's hemp, which belongs to the same plant species. Both certain the compound... Oh, God, I'm not fucking saying CBD. CBD, which studies...
Cannabidiol.
Yeah, but I'm not fucking that up when I can just say CBD.
Cannabidiol.
CBD, which studies suggest can reduce inflammation and combat seizures and anxiety. So basically the same thing that applies to human applies to dogs. Imagine that. This dog takes hemp oil daily for her bad hips.
Bad hips, seizures, fucking... It helps with dementia, I think.
I'd totally give my dog a fucking treatable.
Yeah. I need a treatable. Fuck you mean?
You don't even have to be sick. I'll fucking still get my treatable, dog.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
There you go, bud. It'll help you down the road.
I mean, it's just edibles. I want my dog to
well, this is just a CBD edible. It's not even THC, so it's not like they're getting high at all.
To still be able to relax.
Our buddy makes CBD peanut butter for the fur babies.
I mean, I know this is a little off topic, but I made a pretty bomb weed grilled cheese. It's pretty fire.
Yeah, I could tell. I came over after you ate it.
Oh, how was I like? What was I like?
You were like, hey, man, what's up?
Hey, man.
And it was when the girls came over, so you were like, hey.
Hey.
I'm Tristan. Like, you were like, do we have to walk to their car, man?
Yeah.
That's far. I was like, yes, Tristan, come out.
All right, so we're going to watch about maybe like 2 more videos here.
And then it's a wrap. Bitch.
And then it's a wrap. Yeah, we had a lot more pulled, but doing it live, it's a whole different animal. You know, we can't take an hour-long break and come back to it and be good. And it also is getting late. It's 2 in the morning, so we'll pull like 2 more.
2:13 in the morning.
Yeah, we'll pull.
My key in the door.
All right, let's
Pam punches me in the face and...
We'll pull like 2 more.
Missile strikes hit a small town in eastern Ukraine, damaging homes, a school and medical clinic. Ukraine blamed the attack 2 nights ago on pro-Russian separatists, civilians caught in the middle of the 3-year-long conflict.
Good Lord.
The US has strongly opposed what it calls Russian aggression in eastern Ukraine.
I love how that doggo was just
Russia
like, what's
for
up?
violence that has claimed more than 10,000 lives and displaced 1.7 million people. Now it will provide weapons to help Ukraine defend and display.
Could you imagine me standing here while gunshots, like, they just, unless that's a very crafty editing, which I have no reason to believe it is, but they just showed, like, right over here.
The US has strongly
there's like gunfights.
Dude, I just saw an explosion.
Yeah, there's gunfights and explosions, and here you just see this little dog trotting. There's a fucking tank.
Russia for violence that has claimed
and these people are just like, hey, what's up?
And displaced.
I mean, that can't be. That honestly has to be editing. There's no way that there's this many explosions and gunshots going off, and these people are just sitting here fucking laughing and smoking cigarettes.
Nothing else to do.
There's no way, dog. You would imagine they'd at least be in fucking side.
I would.
I don't know, dude. Those apartments look pretty shitty.
Now it will provide weapons to help Ukraine defend itself. The State Department announcing the United States has decided to provide Ukraine enhanced defensive capabilities as part of our effort to help Ukraine build.
So how do you guys feel about this?
So Russia's fucking with Ukraine?
Well,
as always.
Like, yes and no. So, like, there's been the whole Russia, Ukraine, USSR, ex-USSR in general issues forever.
I didn't know it was this fucking bad.
But yeah, like
what was it, 2015 or 14?
Yeah, when Russia tried to take
they shot that plane down.
Yeah, like Russia and
They're being dickheads.
Yeah, I mean Russia definitely flexes a lot on Ukraine.
They don't flex; they just do shit.
Yeah, I remember there was some stories. I believe it was Ukraine just a while ago too, right around the time that they shot.
It's weird as fuck. It sounds like a dog growl, dude. I don't know if the mic picked that up. I hope it didn't.
But there was some. I think it was like in 2015, where the Russians had moved in on the border and were like replacing flags and doing all this crazy shit. So.
Yeah.
Its long-term defence capacity to defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity and to deter further aggression. Reports suggest the support package, if approved by Congress, would...
I love how the missiles float for a second. It's like, oh shit, is that going? Okay, yeah, it's going.
...include anti-tank missiles.
See? Like that little float. I would shit my pants every fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, look at that little float. Well, Riley, watch this.
Would include anti-tank missiles.
Like right there, that little...
like flats. And
yeah, like that little gap, and when it gets actually the power to go, oh, I'd shit my pants.
U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has said Russia's occupation of Crimea, which the U.S. wants returned to Ukraine, is a major stumbling block in relations between Moscow and Washington.
The issue that stands in the way is Ukraine. We can have differences in other arenas. In Syria, we can have differences in other areas, but when one country invades another, that is a difference that is hard to look past or to reconcile.
Wait, did
and
Ukraine
we made
invade
this
Russia?
clear to Russia from the very beginning.
No, other way around.
And why is he pinning this on Ukraine?
He's not. He was saying that the Ukraine issue itself is the issue. He just worded it badly.
Yeah, that was horribly worded.
We must address Ukraine.
God damn it,
It stands
Ukraine
as the single
getting in
most
trouble.
difficult obstacle to us renormalizing a relationship with Russia, which we badly would like to do.
He blamed Russia for continuing violence in the Donetsk region.
Today, we focus on East Ukraine because that's where the level of violence is simply, it's risen. This year, as I indicated, it's up 60%. We have to bring that to an end.
And this U.S. defense package appears to be their answer. But one military analyst suggested it will do little to help Ukraine and is a tactic by Trump to show he's not in bed with the Russians.
No, I think it's going to do a lot to help Ukraine. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you give them even 5 tanks, a couple 100,000 guns. I mean, they probably won't even... Truthfully, I don't know how much they give in defense pack. We should honestly look it up. I might look that up real quick while we watch the end of this video.
Russians.
The truth is that this is not a game changer on the ground in Ukraine. What's been promised now really are just sniper rifles. This is not going to change things on the ground, and Moscow knows that. This is not striking fear in the heart of anybody in the defense ministry in Moscow.
The move won't help Washington-Moscow relations, especially one day after EU leaders agreed to extend tough economic sanctions against Moscow for another 6 months, punishment for their involvement in Ukraine. Charlotte Ballas, Al Jazeera.
Al Jazeera. Trump to or Putin to Trump. Did you see that?
No. What was it?
It was Putin to Trump. I'll send weapons to your enemies if you send them to mine.
Oh, Putin. Oh,
tactical little fucker.
Oh, throwing those flames though. That was the fucking most baller response ever. Like, I'll give Putin one thing. That dude is a motherfucking, like, charming genius.
And to, like, give North Korea, like, an actual fucking nuke. Like, here you go, guys. Quit fucking around. Nah, we didn't give it to them. They're lying.
So it looks like there's... I think that was not framed quite 100% accurately. Because it looks like... this arms deal, it looks like Ukraine's actually in talks with a lot of people for extra support. So I think that might just be the U.S.'s contribution to it. But it looks like they were like trying to make deals with China and trying to sell missiles to Poland for more money or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, maybe that's something we'll look into and make a standalone video on if it gets, you know, if there new stuff comes out about it.
Starts popping.
Yeah, but that's not something I'd really feel comfortable going into too much detail on right now. Just because we simply don't really know much. Shout out to Paul's Ego and Ben. Randomly in the middle of a bunch of
Rey Mysterio looking asshole.
Well, I wonder what tags they use to get these. Like, these videos have nothing to do with them.
Yeah, really.
At all. Like, maybe it's just because we're subscribed to both of them.
Who knows?
You gonna tag Jack?
All right, let's do one more video. A lighthearted video. If there's anything after this video that you wanted to cover that I didn't pull, Rielly, since we got a couple of videos that I couldn't pull due to time, we can do one last one after this.
No. That's a good one to end on.
Yeah. So, SpaceX rocket launch sparks rumors of alien takeover. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Nate, like, I feel like if you didn't turn on YouTube for a couple days or something and you saw this shit, this would be you. You'd be like, bro.
Dude, Facebook went fucking crazy.
The fucking aliens are taking over. Like,
yeah, Facebook was like, look, we're getting invaded and the government's lying about it.
Ain't SpaceX Teslas?
Yeah.
It's one of Elon Musk's fucking things.
Yeah.
Ellen. He said
Elon.
Ellen. It's Elon.
Oh, I thought it was Ellen.
Ellen. My cousin Billy put this up this morning, and I was like, when your girl holds off for a month and you finally get the nut. Just see it in the fucking night sky.
That's funny. It looks cool as fuck.
It does look really fucking baller.
Yeah, it does.
Like, you didn't give no warning to this shit?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
I would have fucking killed to be there.
There's
That'd be so fucking cool to see.
Let's read this. There's absolutely an alien wormhole that just opened up over LA. I am fine with this. Welcomed. Hope MIB doesn't show up to tell me it's a weather balloon or some lie. This is alien. Okay, this is
alien.
This is clearly a troll post.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But like, imagine being there not supposed to be odd.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck is
in the sky?
I don't think I'd jump to alien wormhole necessarily.
Although it does look rather fucking
alien.
When I saw it, I thought it was Photoshop.
I don't know if you want to pull up but Elon Musk spacesuits are fucking rad looking.
Oh yeah, I'll pull those real quick. We can just take a look at them.
Yeah, this video's over anyway.
It's like, I want to be a spaceman again.
Yeah, honestly.
It looks like you can like kind of like unbunch your boxers from the outside of it. It's so thin and tiny, it's sick. That looks rad, yeah.
Dude, that looks like something.
You can scratch your balls from the outside without having to worry.
Yeah. Like, if we're wearing shit like that into space, I think we're going in a good direction.
Dude, Tesla is so fucking cool.
I mean, like, I'd go to space in that shit. I'd be like, all right, cool, sign me up.
Who's that one rapper who's like, he like wants to like put hot air balloons into space to see if the Earth's flat or not?
I don't know. The only rapper I know that thinks the Earth is flat is B.O.B.
Yeah, dude. Everyone like, I've seen videos against him like, what he's saying is not true. It's harmful because he's spreading false information.
Oh,
B.O.B. must be stopped.
I don't think anybody's taking him all that seriously.
He raised only like 2% of his goal.
Yeah.
I think he got like 2,000 out of like 2 million.
I'm just going through our list one more time to make sure we got everything. Yeah, we pretty much got everything that we needed to get done. So, as always,
looks like some fucking Star Trek shit.
It does. But as always, you know, like, comment, and subscribe. You can check out all of our links in the description. This was our first live stream, so give us that follow on YouTube, boys.
Yeah.
What's my dog's name again? Shout out to our first sub on Twitch.
Our first sub on Twitch, that was Riker Riot.
Nice, dog.
You the fucking man, right?
You're a legend. You're a legend. And you also got to witness the first live project that we've done, Clocked as well. Shout out to you for participating.
You were there.
Yeah, shout out to you for participating in the chat.
Hashtag first.
Yep, you added something to the show, so feel awesome about yourself. And then as well, really quickly before we go to, this isn't something that we've been able to show before, but we have shirts for sale.
Yep, they're pretty dope.
We have shirts for sale, and they are honestly fucking sick. Like, seriously. Like, they're not bad. So, check those out, definitely, if you're interested in some apparel. Maybe next time we'll have an actual, like, ad up so we can, like, show you what they look like and shit. And the only other thing I wanted to mention, and it is we are in no way even asking for this, but just so you are aware, we do have a Streamlabs set up now, so you can actually send in donations, as well as we'll get notifications if you subscribe on YouTube while we're live, as well as if you follow on Twitch.
Yeah.
So you're not obligated to do any of these things, but just so you guys know, moving forward while we are live streaming, these options will be available.
Hemp dog.
But all right. Any closing thoughts, guys? Anything you want to say to the peeps?
Hashtag Fro Gang.
Gang gang.
Thug Live.